Welcome to Metal Monday! Yeah! Welcome to Metal Monday! And Stormdok presents an epic Monday night of headbanging content. We're not just hosting shows, we're building a movement. Tonight we're rocking out for your entertainment. Only one more thing left to say. If you're not moving how we move it, move out the fucking way. Metal Monday, Metal Monday. Welcome to the Family Records, doing metal right. Thank you to all our listeners for joining us and listening in. Don't forget to join our Facebook group and vote for who you want to win.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Metal Monday, where we are not just hosting shows, we are building a movement on Swain Family Records here, and on Monday nights, rocking out to some rock and metal music. I am your host, Stormdok, the techno metal guru, and I absolutely love techno metal. I know I haven't done a techno metal song in a while, but I will definitely play some techno metal tonight for sure. It's been a bit. I've been dabbling into death metal and been having a little fun with it. And I know it's kind of a short crew today, but it's no biggie. You know, nothing wrong with that. We had a really large crew last week and handled it flawlessly. So shout out to everyone who showed up last week and joined in, submitted songs. You know, we managed to get everybody through and had a really great time. So it's kind of nice to have a smaller crew today, you know, a little bit of a relaxation after that. But yes, I do have Omega Night Moon with me. You know, he's a real cool guy and he does a lot of his Celtic metal music and real awesome sounding, you know, combination there. You know, who'd have thought bagpipes and metal work so well together? And yeah, so with that said, we do have a new face of sorts with a song tonight. She couldn't be with us due to some work obligations. You know, it is a Monday night, you know, first day of the work week. A lot of people are at work or soon to be school coming up. You know, school is right around the corner. Wow, summer went by quick. I hope it does too. I am not a summer person. I am a fall and winter person. You know, I can't stand summertime. You know, I was talking about it earlier. You know, at wintertime, you can bundle up to your heart's content and you're comfortable. Summertime, there's only so much you can legally take off, you know, before you get the cops called on you or you get, you know, the sun banging down on you even more. Definitely don't want indecent exposure, you know, or being on a registered offender list because you got way too hot on a day. Do not follow the advice about it's getting too hot in here, so take off all your clothes. That's for sure. Maybe in the house you're cool, but not out of the house, please. So with that said, today is Parenthood Day, and I haven't done a topic in a little bit. I'm trying to wind down on the topics and whatnot. Topics haven't exactly worked out for me too well in the past, but well, you don't want to take off your skin, renegade. That might be that might put you somewhere else instead of a back of a cop car. There, you might get a straitjacket and it's into the nearest psych hospital.
Gets into the 7th floor at JPS.
Yeah, or was it the 6th floor at Portsmouth Naval Hospital when I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia?
No, Fort Worth, or we have the county hospital, and the county hospital has the 7th floor. strictly reserved for the crazy people.
And shout out to West Hills Hospital in Reno, Nevada, because I was actually a patient there for 3 days. But fun story there. The Navy, I was stationed at Fallon, Nevada for a last duty station, and my boss is trying to write me up. It was my chief petty officer. Tried to write me up because I showed up late for PT weigh-ins, but I showed up the normal time we were always mustering, and everything was cool, or at least I thought. I show up at 6:45 because muster was at 7, and everybody was already rolling out. I'm like, what's the deal? I thought, muster was, at 7 o'clock. And they're like, no, it was actually at 6 because of weigh-ins. You should know that. I'm like, no, even on weigh-in days, it's always still been at 7. Nobody sent me any text saying it was earlier because I just gotten out of doing auxiliary security forces. So if you're Navy, ASF duty, you're with security department for a certain amount of time. Normally it's 6 months. And then I just got off of security, for doing my 6-month tour. And it was literally my next day that I showed up. And I even confirmed with my LPO. And I'm like, it's a 7, right? And he's like, yeah. So I showed up at 6:45. And he tried to write me up for it. I said I wasn't signing that shit because that was a bullshit write-up. And he was like, oh, we're going to be like that. And I'm like, look, I only got a month left in the Navy. What am I even doing weighing in? Like, I showed up in my PT gear exactly how I was told. I got my text messages to prove it. I'm not signing that. And then he tried to say some bullshit, to where he would ensure that I would get like a bad discharge if I didn't sign it. I picked up that paper and I ripped it up right in front of him. And I'm like, do it. I'm like, go on ahead, do it. Next thing you know, I have a crew escorting me to the duty van, taking me back to the house and say, pack up a couple of days worth of clothes because they're taking you to Reno. And I'm like, all because I ripped up a write-up page in front of my chief. So that's the story of how I went to the loony bin in Reno, Nevada for 3 days. So shout out to West Hills, still an awesome nursing crew over there. So yes, I have been in a loony bin, and my chief had the nerve to say that I was on a vacation after those 3 days. And luckily, the doctor there thought it was bullshit, so he didn't red flag me, so I can still own my little, pew pew. So yeah, thank God he didn't red flag me for that. But my chief tried to make a big deal about it, and then right before he signed my good conduct discharge, my honorable discharge and all that shit, I told him that I would have much rather have done another tour in Iraq instead of being stationed with those guys. I told them that, picked up my paperwork, and I went on my terminal leave and never saw their asses again. So, yep. Fun little story right before we started Metal Monday. All right. So, with that said, let's get back on topic. But it is parenthood today. And we're going to have some songs about parenthood. I'm going to do a little trigger warning because I know some folks can get a little upset about this topic, but one of our new faces, Miss Ash Evans, I'm giving her a nice little shout out there, submitted this song. I know she wasn't able to attend with us today. Again, work obligations and all that. So hope your work's going by all right. And her song is called After 3 Cradles. And she sent me the summer here. She said, it's just about the nerves of knowing there's something wrong, but holding on to the hope that everything will be all right. And that when you end up grieving those angels you never got to hold on to, how much it hurts, but having to put on a face for your friends and family when it breaks you down inside. So essentially, and again, this is a trigger warning, this song is about miscarriages. So if this is something that irks you, that stirs any past traumas up, feel free to do a little mute, or you can skip it later if you're watching this live later. But I will do a little thumbs up as soon as the song's over to let you know when to unmute it if this does bother you. So yeah, without further ado, let's play Ash's song After 3 Cradles.
Doctor's room, white walls, cold chair, counting times to outrun the air. screen, searching for a sign, holding my breath like it might save a life. These empty arms remember every cradle, names I only whisper in the dark. I light a little candle at the table for the babies I just carry in my heart. I carry you in every quiet part. Friends talk about nursery pain. I smile then I fold in the bathroom. Calendar square, circle, cross, erased. Another month, another quiet funeral at home. Is it my body? Is it my fault? I replay every moment, hit repeat on the what if talk. But you were real to me, though I never saw your face. I'm learning how to love myself inside this hurting place. Is it my body? Is it my fault? I'll replay every moment, hit repeat on the what if talk. But you're a real type. But you were real to me, though I never saw your face. I'm learning how to love myself inside this hurting place.
Yeah, I know it's not metal, but quite honestly, I still feel like, it's a good message to get out there. And it was very well written and very soulful, and you could feel all the emotion in it.
It was, and as I said, I made an exception for the new face, and it fit along the topic. And I felt like something like that definitely needs to be talked about. Is something people in the world struggle with. Some people just constantly go through those events, and just have trouble producing kids, becoming parents because of that. And that's why a lot of folks, they either get into deep down depression or they resort to adoption and all that. It's another option as well. But I know not everybody can qualify for adoption either, because I've heard that some of these agencies have such strict requirements for it.
No doubt there. I mean, they put you through a credit check. They put you through all kinds of different stuff. I mean, I've never had to adopt just because, me and my first wife had our 2 kids, and then turned around and got married to Becky, and she had 2 kids, and I've got 2 grandkids, and I just got way too many kids.
See, and it's crazy that, couples out there, they can go out and just have kids on their own without getting credit checks and all that shit. Yet a couple of people that, have had problems producing kids and really want to add a child to their life, are having issues with that.
Yeah. Then you got the parents who don't want kids, have like, half a dozen, and then they're like, they don't take good care of them. And then you got the parents who really want kids, who can't have kids, and then it really feels like an imbalance. It really does.
It is. And, like when you have like legit true deadbeats out there that make kids and then they want nothing to do with them afterwards.
Gee, I know one like that.
I'm sure we all have a few that, in mind and stuff.
My niece, she was born in about the time you were, about 84, 85. And her baby daddy, 7 kids, won't take care of a single one of them. And she's not the only female that he's had babies with. He's got like 25 kids and doesn't take care of a single one of them. Yeah, boo. Bad part is he's got Forge's name.
What the fuck?
Yeah, his name's Larry.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, at least we all know our Larry is a good Larry. You know, we all love
Yeah.
our Larry.
I doubt
Much
Larry's
love,
ever
Larry.
been to Ohio either.
Yep, he said it's not him. Definitely not our Larry.
No, I don't think he's ever been to Ohio, so I don't have any worries about that.
See, I can't remember if I've been to Ohio or not. I was at such a young age when we potentially went to Ohio. My parents and my mom refuses to confirm that to me. So
I've been to Ohio multiple times, but never stopped in Ohio, just passing through.
see, I might have to in December because my favorite doctor is going to be there for a Comic-Con at the beginning of December. So might consider going to Ohio. That I can remember. That's for damn sure.
My sister lives there. The only way you're getting me out in Ohio is if you knock me out and ship me there in a box.
Ooh, well, definitely an intense start to this with that song. Very well put, Ash. Very well put. That was a really great job, and hopefully we can see you on one of the live someday. But I try to keep my Metal Mondays very chill. I don't want to force anybody to do shit on my show. You know, if you're not comfortable being live, that's perfectly fine. You know, just send me your song in a summary, and I'll make sure it gets played. So no biggie.
Just look at me. I'm not live.
Yeah, like I've seen his face like maybe 2 or 3 times, but that's usually not on live. So
Usually, I'm not appropriately dressed for the live. So it's too hot in Texas to be fully dressed.
Hey, some people do lives in their birthday suits. You know.
No, that's not me. No, you're never gonna catch me anyway. We're close to that on a live. If I come on a live, I'm fully dressed: shirt, pants, socks, shoes. Nope. I don't want to make anybody's eye. I don't want to make anyone go blind.
Oh man.
So we doing Becca or me next?
Let's do you next, since I know you and we both got 2 songs each, so we can do yours.
Becca's is cute and funny. I will say that.
Okay, so we'll. I think she had 1 song today, right?
Yep.
No,
she has
okay.
1 song.
Because
the only songs that she has about parenthood are country, so she can't bring that here.
Okay, so we'll do you, and then we'll do me, since we have 2 songs, and then we'll have Rebecca's like perfectly in the middle, and then we'll do your other one and my other one. Sound good?
Do me. Oh,
we'll do you, all right. Oh man, that sounds like a spicy topic for confessions there.
So my song is actually called the Pineapple Song.
See, it's a perfect midnight confession song. You know, I guess Dirty Diana and Dante should talk about this one next, maybe.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about it.
So, with all the pineapple talk that's been flying around for like the last 3 weeks, I decided to do a song about pineapples. Yep, you know it, Renegade. And it's a humorous song, but it is about parenthood and what it's like to be able to try to get any intimate time when you have multiple children.
All right. Well, definitely looking forward to this one. So without further ado, here is the Pineapple Song by Omega Night Moon.
A pineapple rolled up to a coconut tree and said, "Hey, Fuzzy, you ever handled something this spiky?" Coconut said, "Not since we had kids." Pineapple wore a crown everywhere she went. Stood up straight like she knew what it meant. Coconut stared and said, that's quite a shape. Pineapple grinned, better watch what you say. Spiky on the outside, juicy in the middle. Hard to get into, but worth a little struggle. They leaned in close beneath the moonlit sky. Then a baby coconut started screaming, why? Pineapple whispered, can we try this again? Coconut said, after they're asleep by 10. 10 became 11, 11 became 2. Then somebody yelled, there's a monster in my room! Lock the door, dim the light. Maybe we can have 5 minutes tonight. Nope. Pineapple coconut rolling in the sand. One takes a knife, one takes 2 hands. Pineapple coconut, naughty little pear. She wears the crown and he grows facial hair. Shake it up, crack it down. Sticky little fingerprints all over town. Pineapple coconut trying to have fun, but somebody needs a diaper, so nobody gets some. So nobody gets some. Coconut said, you're looking mighty right. Pineapple said, baby, I'm exactly your type. Firm on the outside, sweet underneath. Then a toddler ran through with no pants on his cheeks. They hired a sitter and made dinner plans. Coconut trimmed his fuzz and washed his hands. Pineapple wore something that made him say, wow. Then the sitter called and said, come home right now. One kid had a fever, one swallowed a bead, one painted the dog with permanent ink. They used to spend weekends tangled in sheets. Now they cut grapes into tiny safe treats. Book the sitter, make the plan. Get dressed up while you still can. Phone rings. Come home! Pineapple coconut rolling in the sand. One takes a knife, one takes 2 hands. Pineapple coconut, exhausted little pear. She wears a crown with baby food in her hair. Shake it up, crack it down. How feet and crackers scattered all around. Pineapple coconut hot beneath the sun, but bedtime takes 4 hours, so nobody gets some. Who likes a ripe coconut? Who likes him hard? Pineapple. Who needs a nap? Who woke the baby? Pineapple. Who changed the diaper? We lost count. Who stepped on the toy? Coconut. Who killed the mood? Everybody. No sleep. Cold food. No privacy. Parenthood. They finally got the little fruits to bed. Coconut winked, remember what you said. Pineapple whispered, lock the bedroom door. Then tiny feet came running down the corridor. I need some water, I heard a sound. There's a scary banana walking around. Pineapple bros, this mood is officially dead. Coconut said, move over, I'm sleeping instead. Saturday morning at 6:15, baby threw oatmeal, toddler threw fits. Pineapple stepped on a wooden toy train. Coconut drank cold coffee to soften the pain. Nothing says romance like wiping the nose while wearing yesterday's mismatched clothes. But underneath the chaos, noise and mess, they looked at those little fruits and felt blessed. Pineapple coconut dancing in the sand. She holds the bottle, he holds a tiny hand. Pineapple coconut, sleep deprived pear. She has the spikes and he has the gray hair. Shake it up, crack it down. Parenthood chaos all over town. Pineapple coconut still somehow in love. They may not get privacy, but they made enough. Pineapple coconut trying to have fun. They schedule romance when the laundry is done. Pineapple coconut under the moon. They might get 5 minutes sometime next June. 5 minutes. Next June. 5 minutes, maybe. Coconut said, so, can I taste the middle? Pineapple whispered, the kids are finally asleep. A tiny voice called from the hallway. I threw up! Coconut sighed, maybe next year. Coconut said, should have bought a raincoat. Pineapple said, bit late for that.
Told you it was clean.
That's the sound when the kids finally do see it happening.
Right. But I told you it was funny. I told you it was about parenthood. I didn't lie.
Nope, I think you hit it. I think you hit it right on the nail there. That's for
I mean,
sure.
I remember when we had our little ones, when they were still little, and my wife and I never got any peace and quiet. We never got any privacy. It was, you know, our oldest would sit there at the door anytime we tried to have intimacy, and would be sitting there going, "Mommy." So yeah, I remember those days, and that's what pretty much inspired the song.
Oh, the comments are definitely lighting up with that one, as I'm sure you could probably see there.
Oh yeah.
I'll
I
have-
tried to make a fun one this time because I'm always bringing the angsty, anger-driven ones, and I was like, I think it's time people see my funny side.
Well, speaking of angsty and angry, that's what my next one's about.
That's what my last one's about.
Well, my song is called Raised Wrong. I don't think I've played this one for Swing Family Records yet on any of my Metal Mondays, but this one, I'm playing it directly from my Spotify, and this is for my first album, and it's about, all the problems you went through as a kid, and then with some folks growing up, and they kind of carry those problems, through their own adulthood as a result, and they're claiming that's how they were raised, was around all that anger.
Yeah.
And I went through some issues with my own dad. He had anger problems when I was a kid, and that's where a lot of the lyrics kind of stemmed up from. Although I'm not a jailbird or anything. I'm one of those people, I'd rather just walk away from a situation if I get really angry about something.
Just
because I definitely don't want to be that kind of person, especially in front of my own kid. I have one daughter, and I don't want to be that angry person in front of my daughter. I don't want her seeing the same shit that I saw with my dad.
Yeah.
And even the cover of the single has a hole punched in a wall with blood on it, because that was actually something I have seen as a kid. So even the cover of the song kind of, represented what I went through as a kid. And let's just say there's been a few holes in walls, and I even have a little scar on my forehead from one of his incidents too. So definitely a bit of a rough past there.
Yeah, I understand that. When I was about 14, my dad lost his temper and turned around and punched me directly in the chest. So I understand that completely.
See, and I can't stand abusive people, and it did make boot camp a little bit hard on me, I will admit, because I served in the Navy for 8 years, and I went in as soon as I could. Like, I gave myself 1 month after I got my high school diploma, and then boom, I shipped right off to Great Lakes, Illinois for my boot camp. And it was one of those things, and my dad actually signed the paperwork because my mom didn't want to do it. And I was 17 at the time. I got a parental permission to join the military at 17. And it was one of those things, I just had to get out of the house and away from that environment. And unfortunately, there has been a couple of times where, I've had to stop the rage, from going towards my 2 younger sisters, because, I was the oldest out of 3. And there were times where I wound up taking the brunt of it.
Yeah, I was the middle child. Yeah, families definitely can be complicated. I was the middle child, and I was the one who got dumped on about everything. So, I was basically the, I don't know.
Needless to say, boot camp was pretty hard on me, because people, like men yelling around me, like sparks a bit of that kind of childhood PTSD trauma.
yeah.
And it's one of those things, you know, I close my eyes. I got yelled at that for that too, because they're like, look me in the eye, blah blah blah, when I'm talking to you, and I'm just sitting there. I'm trying to calm myself down, take a few deep breaths, just look at him, just take that shit, because I don't want him to get worse. Just let him chew my ass out and move on. And that was basically it. But it was hard as shit to control myself. And during boot camp, there's a lot of shit I hit in boot camp. I don't even know how I passed boot, to be honest. But I got through it. I did my ears. I got out. Everything's cool. It is what it is.
It's called intestinal fortitude.
Yep, gotta have a bit of that gut check for sure there. But let me get this pulled up here.
Yeah, I understand a lot about the abusive side of things, and that's why when I was growing up with my son, and I didn't want to be an imitation of my father and be the person who sits there and yells at him for absolutely no reason, or gets angry for no reason, turns around and hits him for no reason. I didn't believe in spanking back then, and the only time that I ever did any spanking was when he really fouled up to the point where you keep this attitude up and you're going to end up in jail.
Definitely. But yep, let's hear this song, Raised Wrong.
I was raised on fear, black and eye, broken bone. Every hole he put in the wall felt like a sin for which he could not atone.
She was always gone, always at work, comes home and then soon leaves again. Kiss that book till my mouth turned dry, still gotta watch me in my dark prison.
I ran errands for devils in suits, signed my name on the lines they drew. Yet God stayed silent in heaven while I learned what a sinner can do.
I was raised wrong, and you watched the whole thing happen. Every crooked little habit, every scar I carved in panic.
I was raised wrong.
So I point this blade like a weapon. If I'm burning, you're the spark. Then are you proud of what you fashioned? Yeah, I was raised wrong.
I was raised wrong.
You said kneel, be still, but the wolves were your Sunday smile. Fed me venom in silver cups, called it grace, called it holy style. I stole, I lied, I broke, just to feel like I mattered at all. You were framed on the wall, smiling upon me while I crawled down the hall. And my voice cracked raw in the choir, spitting songs with a mouth full of wire. Built this cage, stamped it love, then blame me when I lit it on fire. I was raised wrong, and you watched the whole thing happen. Every twisted little habit, every storm I couldn't manage. I was raised wrong, so I drag your name through ashes. If I'm falling, you're the axis. Turn my heart into a magnet for damage. I was raised wrong.
Are you there? Or just echoes in the ceiling? Did you care? Or was are just a test, you're still repeating. Hands together, teeth clenched tight, I'm screaming at the sky like it owes me my life. If you're loving, prove it now, or admit you left me here to drown.
I was raised wrong, and you watched the whole thing happen. Every jagged, broken pattern, every shame I had to drag it. I was raised wrong, so I throw this prayer like a tantrum. If I'm lost, you drew the map, then come in on the monster you imagine. I was raised wrong, and I'm laying every sin that you throw like a bomb.
Raised wrong.
I've had enough and will soon be
I was raised wrong. I was raised wrong.
So yeah, and something I didn't mention before I played that, my mom was very hardworking and worked 2 and very briefly 3 jobs. So that line about her coming home from work, and then going right back and leaving the house right back again. It was sometimes a very often thing there, and she wasn't around to be around a lot of his shit, unfortunately. And it was another one of those things where back then, when I was a faith-based person, I'm asking God, why is he putting me through all of this?
I'm going to reply to that and say that he never gives you more than you can handle.
Well, it definitely got a bit testy there, and at the end, that can be eluded in multiple different ways. And like with a couple of my songs, I left it open to the audience to perceive how that was. Like with at the end where, mentioning I've had enough and I will soon be gone, that can be interpreted different ways.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those songs I let the listener interpret how that ended. Sort of like what I did with Unwanted, when it talks about, signing the divorce papers in so, your spouse can finally be free of this feeling and all that. That can either be a happy or a sad thing, depending on how you look at it. And
now you make me want to bring my song Unwanted.
maybe I can have a divorce night or something like that one of these days. I don't know.
Oh no, mine's not about divorce. Mine's about not being wanted as a child in my family. So basically, they
Oh, that's a different kind of unwanted. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should bring the theme as unwanted, and that way everybody can bring their songs about whether they were unwanted in marriage, unwanted in a relationship, wanted in a family.
Ooh, that's
whatever.
gonna be an intense night.
Oh yeah, it would be great though.
Ooh, man, I already told everybody next week was open metal, but maybe the week after I can make that unwanted night, and
Yeah.
I think that one, I think that's going to be my free night too that I got scheduled for
Mhm.
August. What is it? Next week's the 27th, so that's open metal. August 3rd is the first one of the month, so that's not free. But I can definitely make August 3rd unwanted night, so that'd definitely work out.
That'd be an
Oh.
awesome. That'd be an awesome theme.
Oh, it would for sure. Whew. All right. Becky's song, Harry the Puppet.
Mhm.
Let me get this pulled back up
Do,
here.
do we want to both talk about it, or because I have not met Harry the Puppet yet? I'm hoping I never do.
I think I've heard this one from her
Mm-mm.
on one of the
No.
shows. Really? I remember her
what you
mentioning
heard
something about
was
Harry the Puppet.
asked me about my dad was about how he would bring him out, but this is the full story behind Harry the Puppet. This is not
Because
just a
I
blurb
remember one of
about
her
him.
songs had the Harry ventriloquist, puppet thing in one of her pictures, and that's where I thought it was.
Yep. Basically, yeah, there was she has her country song talking about Harry the Puppet, but this is a metal song that she brought.
Awesome, and she did say it was a deeply personal metal tribute to her father and one of the memories that had stayed with her since childhood. Harry was a puppet that her dad would bring out whenever her friends visited, usually with the full intention of embarrassing her. What's the job of a parent if you can't embarrass your kids every now and then?
Exactly.
Back then, I wanted to hide. Now, those moments mean more to me than I ever understood at the time. The song begins with childhood embarrassment, but gradually reveals the love behind it. Her father showed up, set boundaries, taught her responsibility and respect, protected her, loved her through his actions. And to her, parenthood is not defined only by blood or a title. It is defined by presence, sacrifice consistently, and love. Ain't that the truth?
My soul cries out hallelujah.
Harry became a symbol of her relationship with her dad. What once felt humiliating now reminds her of safety, laughter, and a father who was actively involved in her life. She chose metal because the story needed emotional weight. It's not simply a funny song about a puppet. It carries gratitude, nostalgia, regret, and the realization that even the memories that embarrassed us can become priceless. Ultimately, Harry the Puppet is a thank you letter to her dad. So, wow. That's definitely a lot of emotion. I know everybody that I've had on Metal Mondays can definitely bring some emotions, especially you and Rebecca. I know you guys pour your hearts and souls out in music as well. As I said before, I've never met anybody on Swing Family Records that didn't have some emotion behind it. It's pretty intense.
We write from life experience, so a lot of it is very emotional. I when I first started writing, I started, or actually when I first started producing, I stuck with just the plain metal genre because that is what I grew up with and that's what I liked. But you can put a lot of emotion in metal and people just do not realize how emotional metal can be. And that's why I like the genre so much, is because you can. And I can tell you, even to this day, her dad will drop everything to help her out. To give you an idea, we're going on our 5th wedding anniversary, which is the paper anniversary, in December. Her dad paid for our trip.
Aw. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely some love right there. And quick shout out to the folks in the comments there. I know you guys have been commenting like crazy. Got Clayton, D-Day, May out there in the crowd too. Of course, Larry and Jim B as well. Everybody out there in the comments. But I know I saw Butcher there earlier today too, talking about the pineapples earlier. So
Becky's there too. She's just still a little doped up from that Dilaudid.
Yep, that'll do it. I need to add that as another vocal thing. That'll do it.
That'll do it. You actually should go and get the one from
Babe.
Yeah,
where he goes, that'll do, pig. That'll do. Yep. All right, here comes Harry the Puppet.
Every child thinks their parents were born to embarrass them. Growing up changes what you see. I heard my friends come knocking, and I knew what you would do. That crooked grin upon your face said Harry was coming too. his voice while I prayed that I could hide. I saw my life was ending while my friends all laughed at me. But Harry kept on talking, and you were right where you should be. You were strict because you cared. You were watching every door. I thought you were holding me back. You were teaching me what strength was for. Harry the puppet, grinning in the hall. You brought him out to torture me whenever friends would call. I swore I would die from the shame while you laughed and played your part. But every foolish word he spoke was a father showing heart. You gave your life to raising mine through every changing time. That is what makes a parent, not a name or just a bloodline. Harry the puppet, still dancing in my head. Now I hear the love behind every ridiculous word you said. You taught me how to earn it. You taught me how to save. That respect is something lived, not something people simply claim. You worked until your hands hurt, never asking for applause. Old school, hard-headed, sarcastic, but you loved without a pause. You taught me to treat people the way I would want them to treat me, to stand my ground with honor and become who I was meant to be. You sang your little girl to sleep whenever you were home. And even when I rolled my eyes, I never felt alone. You were hard when life demanded. You were gentle when I broke. Sometimes love was quiet wisdom. Sometimes love was Harry's jokes. Harry the puppet, still dancing in my head. Now I hear the love behind every ridiculous word you said. A parent is not blood, a parent is the one who stays, the one who sets the boundaries and carries all the weight. You showed up, you stood firm, you taught me, then let me grow. I wish I had come around more often. I wish I had understood that time would turn those awkward moments into memories that felt good. Thank you for all you have done, for every lesson in this world. No matter how much time may pass, I am still your little girl. And Harry is still embarrassing. Harry the puppet, raise him one more time. Let him tell those awful jokes like everything is fine. Let me roll my eyes again. Let me beg you not to start. 'Cause every foolish word he speaks still carries your whole heart. You gave your life to raising mine through every changing time. That is what makes a parent, not a name or just a bloodline. Harry the puppet no longer brings me shame. He reminds me that a father's love can answer any name. Blood never made the bond. Showing up made it strong. So bring Harry from the shadows and let him speak one final line. I will always be your daughter, and you will always be dad of mine.
Emotional.
Very, very emotional. Man, I need to add a crying sound effect too. Oh man, but definitely very emotional. You can definitely feel the emotion in those lyrics there. exactly what she felt about him. And she's absolutely right. Who you consider a parent doesn't always have to be blood related. It's about who's there for you, who takes care of you, who's helped you out, who's been there for you.
Yeah, she's the only one she's ever really considered her dad, and he is her stepdad, but quite honestly, he's the only one who stepped up. He's been in her life since she was 3 years old, and he will always forever be her dad.
There you go, putting that step in stepdad for stepping up. So huge shout out for those parents out there that step up in that manner, because the world's definitely full of very crappy parents, and you can't always choose your blood family, but you can choose who you consider your family. That's for sure.
Yeah, I got chewed out by her ex-husband because he wasn't taking care of the kids or anything. He was just basically being a DBA or DBD. And I got a T-shirt made that was supporting my stepdaughter's bowling team, and on the front it had the team name with her name on it, and then the back it said, "I'm not the dad, but I'm the dad that stepped up." Aww. He didn't like that too much.
And for the record, I was booing the ex. I wasn't booing the story or anything. I want to put that out there. People can take shit the wrong way nowadays, without context. But I'm putting it in context. I was booing the ex.
Okay, so you're saying that I need to send over on the Wednesday show a song that basically disses you, right? For booing me?
If you want to send this, hey, if you want to send a song, I could definitely have my guy play it. So whatever you want, his show is pretty open too. So hey.
I mean, I don't know if y'all heard, they're doing a men versus women battle coming up, and Becky's in it, and she's going to be coming hard with it.
Whew, I know she's got her way with words too.
Mm-hmm.
I see Larry out there like, get Stormdok, grr, and I'm like, well, that means you got to come up here to Oklahoma. So come on, man, I'm right up 35. Come bring it.
Oh, he's too far away from 35. He's too lazy to drive that far.
It's summertime too, so no tornadoes at the moment. So it's all you and I. No Mother Nature involved right now, at least until fall time frame when that second storm season comes around.
Oh, come on, you're the Stormdok. You can bring some lightning.
Sure, I can conjure something up. Like my favorite X-Men from X-Men. I love me some storm action. So
yep. Of course, my favorite, is always going to be Jean.
I think she was just in San Antonio, if I remember correctly, too, for their Comic-Con. So
nice.
What was her name? Famke Johnson or something. I think that's the actress's name.
Yeah, Famke.
Yeah, there you go. Because I know she was also in The Faculty, and I love that movie.
I'll have to watch that one.
She was Miss Burke, the teacher that was kind of hitting on Jake, a little bit in the movie. But The Faculty is an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, it's basically like a modern version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And it's even funny because there's like a reference to Invasion of the Body Snatchers too, like Stokely that Clea Duvall plays. And she's the kind of goth nerd of the group that, reads all the horror stories and all that. So she knows all about it. And Elijah Wood from Lord of the Rings is also in there. And he plays another nerd that, takes pictures and all that. So the movie was pretty stacked and had a badass soundtrack. So if you haven't seen The Faculty, you need to.
Of course, you realize that, if they're going to come out with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, they got to come out with the 50-foot woman.
Oh, man, there's so many ways people can botch that movie, though. Oh, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, it'd be really great, because bring back all the old 60s B movies.
You want to know Yep, Usher was definitely in it. And Usher actually wasn't a bad actor in that one. I actually didn't mind Usher in that one.
Usher's not a bad actor all around, He's been in a couple of movies. He's really good.
Even, what is it? I think it was Nelly that was in The Longest Yard. I thought he was good in The Longest Yard. So,
well, Usher was in The Fast and the Furious.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He
he
was.
did the
Okay.
whole baby oil line with
Oh shit,
Rock.
yeah, I remember that now.
That line was actually totally unscripted.
Oh, that I guess that didn't age well today though. So, yep, the baby oil definitely did not age well today. But
Yeah.
with that further said, we'll get right back to you, Omega. So a little bit about your second song for tonight.
Okay, like I was mentioning earlier, my father was not the greatest father. He did what he could, but I really feel like, he fell short in a lot of ways. And growing up and meeting all these people who have such great parents and great fathers, it really brings a lot of clarity to what I thought was normal growing up. And the censure, of course, was Becky's father, who's been more of a father to me than my own father was. And that's kind of sad considering I've only known the man for like 7 years. And he's been more of a father to me in 7 years than my father has in the last 45.
Again, you can't always can't choose your blood family, but you can definitely choose who you consider your family.
Yeah. So this song, my father passed away in 2022. So
Oh, I'm sorry,
it's
man.
never going to get any closure to that story because he passed away. And the I have a song about this, but basically the thing that was really the worst part about the whole thing is that I got a phone call from his caretaker to tell me that he was dying. My brother didn't even bother to call me. So by the time the caretaker got a hold of me, he was already gone.
Oh
And
man.
I still rushed over to the hospital, still got there, and it was hard on me because, I never got to say goodbye. I never got to do anything as far as, helping him out or anything else. And that is going to be a regret that I'm going to carry on for the rest of my life. And it really angers me that my brother would take that away from me just because he always feels like he's got to be the one in control. He's got to be the man of the house. And even though he's my younger brother, he's got no idea what he's doing. But yeah, that's basically what the song is about the non-closure of the lifetime of neglect and um, basically ambivalence towards me that my parents carried towards me, and it's left a really huge scar and a lot of anger in there. So the song it's one of the ways I use to help me get through it and get it out of my system so that I don't carry it over into other parts of my life.
Music's
So
definitely a great outlet for it, so you don't take it out on yourself or others, unwillingly, because you never know when you're in a deep state of mind and whatnot.
well, I am going to warn people that this is a very deeply emotional song, and it's one of my angsty songs, but it's filled with emotion.
I'm sorry you went through all that, dude. It definitely sucks ass, to have shit like that happen, especially from your own family, and nobody deserves to go through that. So,
Yeah, my family, I'm basically the black sheep, so I'm the one who gets dumped on all the time. Everything's my fault. I'm always to blame.
well, I I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones, but
Ooh,
there is a wise man named Tyrion Lannister
yep.
in there, and he made the comment when he was talking to Jon Snow, because Jon Snow was clearly upset every time somebody called him a bastard, because that's what
He was
children
Ned
born out of
Stark.
wedlock were called. They were called bastards.
Yep.
And Tyrion looked up at Jon and he says, "Never let people use that word to hurt you. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you again."
Yeah. My my whole thing is that I wear as a black sheep cloak with pride because it means that I'm nothing like them.
There's nothing wrong with having morals, dude. Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself, even if it costs you, a family member, unfortunately.
There's a line, and once you draw it, there's no going back over it. If you do, you basically lose integrity, and in my opinion, that's the worst thing you can do is to go back on what you think.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that.
So,
Wow. Well, let's listen to Omega's song.
Do not ask me about my father, unless you want the truth. Some graves do not close wounds. Some names do not deserve candles. When the man died, he left the knife in me. Father's Day comes dressed in gold with holy words and borrowed light. They say every father earned his name like blood can make the wrong things right. Do not hand me that crown, do not call that duty done. A man can stand inside a house and still abandon everyone. He was close enough to know, close enough to see, close enough to say he tried and still not close enough for me. My wife's father showed me what a dad was meant to be. Mine was just a character in a tragic comedy. They called him a good man. I watched what good men do. He chased a churchman's crown while his own house paid the price. When the roof came down, he closed his heart. When his help could have changed our lives, he called my suffering mine to carry. Do not ask me about my father, unless you want the treats. They called him a good man. I watched what good men do. Same blood does not mean love. A name does not make trust. Do not call that man my father, like that word is holy dust. Do not ask me about my father, unless you came to hear the scars. Some men die with prayers around them, still live in hell for who they were. Watched her tears fall, and she slipped away from me. The mother of my children stood in storms he chose not to see. We lost what we could not hold to people who did not care, while he held back the help and left our whole world broken. I hated asking him for anything at all. He turned need into weakness just to watch us fall, then gave away the help I begged for on my knees to the ones he chose instead while he abandoned me. He was there enough for guilt, there enough to live the lie, there enough for people's praise, not enough to stand beside me. Do not tell me he was my father, like that settles what he owed. A title is not shelter when it leaves you in the cold. He died before the debt was spoken, left the wound without a door, and I'm still bleeding from a battle he refused to answer for. He called it discipline, I called it learning not to cry. Leather taught me silence, not respect. He said, you know what you did, but I never knew the crime. They called him teacher, but I learned fear before the blows. He beat the storm inside my head, then wondered why I went quiet. He called it raising a son, I called it breaking a child. and let a stranger call. I got there way too late after the silence fell. No final word, no truth made clean, just a hospital room. And what blood really means is legacy came hunting, but it died inside my hands. My children learn by living, not by leather, fear or shame. Do not ask me about my father unless you want the truth. They called him a good man. Watch what good men do. Same blood does not mean love. A name does not make trust. Do not call that man my father, like that word is holy dust. Now you know why I warned you. Do not ask me twice. Some graves do not bring closure. Some dead men leave knives. Now you know why I buried what he left inside my blood. I became the man he never was. Do not ask me about my father.
Warned you.
Woo! Definitely.
I try to give warnings on ones that are going to come across very angry, and you heard that emotion, I'm sure, throughout the entire song.
Oh, from your story, that anger is justified. That is 100% justified. That is total bullshit.
Well, I mean, you heard it throughout the entire song. How I described it in the song is exactly how it happened. Stranger called me, the caretaker who called me to let me know that my father had passed. And it's like, wasn't even blood who decided to do that. That's wrong.
That's sad
I
when
was-
somebody you've never spoken to or known, has to give you that news instead of your own family.
When my wife passed away, the nurse called me. I was the one who notified my kids. And when we got there, she was surrounded by family when she passed. And in my opinion, that's how it should have been and how it should be. And I couldn't even be extended that courtesy. Like I
Yeah.
said in the song, I became the man my father never was.
Damn, I really wish I had more words to say for that, but
There's really nothing that can be said. It's hard to hear. It's hard to see. It's hard to live. And quite honestly, most words that people try to come up with fall flat just because they've never been through it. And if they have been through it, then they know that there's no words that can be said, because if the words are said, then it comes across as flat and false.
see, yeah, and it's something I've heard. Even other therapists, like actual board certified licensed therapists, say you can never tell someone else you understand what they're going through, because honestly, you really don't. Everybody goes through things in their own individual, unique ways. Everybody handles things in their own individual, unique ways. You may have gone through a similar situation, but your personal feeling and experience could be completely different compared to theirs.
See, when my wife passed away, my first wife, I mourned her for 4.5 years. We'd been married for 25. I'd known her since she was in the 6th grade and I was in the 8th. I'd known her pretty much almost 34, 35 years. And when she passed away, I mourned for 4.5 years just because it took me that long to get over it. And I had friends, quote unquote friends, who told me that after like 3-4 months, hey, she's dead. Yeah, we get it. Get over it.
Damn, what a dick thing to say.
Oh, right. At the
What a
time, I
dick.
was like, At the time, I was like, did they really just say that? And that was the point that I drew the line in the sand and said, you're not an acquaintance. Go F yourself.
See, and if this word wouldn't get Swain Family Records canceled, I would gladly shout that out to the world. But that was a very C word move there. And I'm pretty sure you know the 4-letter C word that starts with a C and ends with a T. That's all I'll say.
And? Oh, wait. No, it started with a C. Sorry.
No,
It's similar, though.
It's the one that the proper folks use to insult each other. So
Yeah, it's what the English use to kind of poke fun at their friends.
but it is like the word can't, but without the apostrophe and a different vowel. All right. So with that
Well,
said,
I think the T word would be just as offensive and probably get us canceled as well.
what, twat?
Yeah, twat.
I'll say twat because, if I say it how the English say it, maybe it won't, mean anything. But,
I say it how the New Zealanders say it with the U, twant.
I've never heard of twant.
Really? Oh, that's how the
No.
New Zealand call it. Yeah, they call it a twant.
See, I watched the Australian show Wentworth. It's like a ladies' prison show, and I've always heard it say twat, on that show.
Twat.
I've never heard it twant.
Oh, maybe it's Australian. I don't know. My grandmother used it a lot, and she used to visit New Zealand and Australia a lot.
I don't know. Like they do have New Zealanders there, and like the guy that plays Homelander in The Boys, he's a New Zealand guy, and same thing. I think Carl Urban's also a New Zealander, and I know he's used it plenty of times. But even I've heard him say it as twat in the show. I've never heard him say twant.
Maybe they're being more historically accurate.
I don't know.
But then again, my grandmother, being born in 1910 is kind of, it's probably an older saying.
Maybe, and it can also depend on which zone you are. Like I know New Zealand isn't very big compared to countries like Australia, U.S. and whatnot, but
You want to talk about something crazy? I mean, you look at the Philippines; they're barely 3 miles long, and they've got over 7,000 dialects.
hey, dialects can viciously change, like depending on where you go to. I even learned from some of my British friends that I have, that dialects and proper English over there, even varies. Like
the Cockney accent.
Yeah, you got the Northern English, you got the Londoners, you got of course you got the Scottish accent, you got the Welsh, from Wales and all that, and you got their version of country accents. You got their version of, the inland, or I shouldn't say inlanders because it's an island, but, the city folk, so to speak. Yeah. All right. Well, this next song.
Further ado.
The last song for the night is, I guess, like my first song was kind of a diss at my dad, but this song is sort of, the years have gone by, the past is in the past, and it's kind of making up for it in a way. This song I did play for the Father's Day special, so if you're here for the Father's Day special, you've heard this song. I was still in San Antonio for that one, I think. But yeah, this one I did for the Father's Day special. It's called Faults and All. And this is a bonus song for tonight, so it won't count for voting or anything. But
can I claim that I slept since then and I don't remember it?
Hey, you can claim whatever you want to claim, as long as it's not, of detriment to anybody else, for monetary gain and all that. Hey.
I'm excited to hear it again and see if I remember it.
All right, well, let's hear it again, I guess, and let's see if we can recall some memories there.
Wasn't perfect, never claimed he was. A rough-edged man made of grit and flaws. Hands like stone, but a heart that tried. Even when pride kept him locked inside. We didn't always see eye to eye. Two storms clashing under the same sky. But even in silence, even in fights, he stood like a lighthouse in my darkest night. He stumbled, he struggled, he fell sometimes. But love isn't measured in perfect lines. It's scars and lessons, bruises and grace. A father's love written on a weathered face. 'Cause he's my dad. Faults and all, the one who caught me when I fall. We've had our battles, we've had our pain, but I walk through fire for him again.
He's not perfect, neither am I, but love still stands when the years roll by.
On Father's Day, I hear the call. He's my dad. Faults and all.
He taught me strength, he taught me fight. He taught me wrong from right at night. But some days hurt, some words cut deep.
Some memories still don't let me sleep. But he tried his best with what he knew. A broken man learning how to be true. And even when he'd lose his way, he'd come back home with a heart that stayed. We're both made of shadows, both made of light. Both trying hard to get life right. And somewhere between the rise and fall, I learned to love him through it all. 'Cause he's my dad. Faults and all, the one who caught me when I fall. We've had our battles, we've had our pain, but I walk through fire for him again.
He's not perfect, neither am I, but love still stands when the years roll by.
On Father's Day, I hear the call. He's my dad. Faults and all. Time softens anger, time heals scars. Time shows the truth of who we are. And looking back, I finally see he gave what he had, he gave it to me. He's not perfect, but he's mine. Love survives the test of time. He's the man who stood when the world felt cold. The man whose stories never got old. The man who failed, the man who tried. The man who cried when his pride had died. Cause he's my dad. Faults and all, the one who lifted me when I crawl. We've had our distance, we've had our scars, but love still burns between the stars. He's not perfect, neither am I. But we keep trying as the years go by.
So here's to the fathers who are perfect men, who break, who fall, who rise again. Here's to the love that survives the fight.
A bond that holds through day and night. Happy Father's Day. He's still your dad. Faults and all.
Yeah, I was just reading your comment there in the YouTube comments there, and even what Clayton said as well. forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves to free us from our past. And so yeah, my songs were very contrastual tonight. The first one was essentially like a rage hate song. Like I hate what you've done in the past. I hate the person that I am. Some of the faults that carry with me today because of shit that I went through as a kid. But then this song was basically a coming to terms of sorts. Like it is basically like, yeah, like a forgiveness song, where, yeah, some of the things you did were shit, but, you were still there for us, when we needed our dad. He didn't walk out on us and all that shit. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be the huge addicted Godzilla fan that I am today. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be into reptiles as much, because he had reptiles growing up, and I got a few lizards of my own. And then if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be a gearhead today, like working on my own cars and trucks and motorcycles and all that stuff. So it's like some of those life lessons, that you get taught, and you're like, well, he's definitely not that guy anymore, kind of a thing. He's come to terms with his own sins, in a way. So that's basically what that song was about. Wasn't sure if you were going to say anything, because I know you unmuted yourself too.
Sorry, I had my actual headset muted.
No worries. It happens to the best of us.
Well, I mean, you've got the mute on the StreamYard, but then my headset also has a mute button that I can press, so it turns off the mic. So I had that turned off, didn't realize it. But yeah, the Father's Day one that I submitted for Father's Day, I was going to originally submit the one that you played tonight, but then I was like, my dad did a lot for me throughout my childhood, and sitting here thinking about it, he taught me all about electricity, how to frame a house, how to roof a house, how to, basically all the basic maintenance that you need to be able to do to fix up a house. And I have carried that all my life, and I have been the one person in the family who can fix just about anything. And then he was the one who pushed me to get into auto mechanic school, and I learned about cars, and that's why I'm a huge gearhead like I am now. And the only thing that he was ever down on was when I was messing around with computers, learning how to work on computers, fix computers, troubleshoot computers, all that. But once once computers really blew up and became a really big thing, because this is like way back in the early 90s, before, computers were a home thing that everybody had one, and they were all, everybody's nice little playthings. But by the time 2000 rolled around, he had completely flipped the script and was like, hey, all about computers, help me out with this, so he finally came around and understood why I was doing what I was doing with computers. And even today, I still work with computers and work on computers. But I also do, building all the time, and I'm constantly working on cars. Like this next weekend, I got to replace the hubs on my car because the rear hubs are going out.
Hey, shout out to your car knowledge, especially with the ACs, because what you suggested, we wound up actually getting the AC problem fixed, and my Raptor's AC blows nice and cold, so yes.
Great. I'm glad that worked out.
Oh God, yes, because we're about to get a major heat wave here soon.
Yeah, well, I'm glad the oil charge was all it was, because each car requires a different amount. Like Becky's car requires 16 ounces or 6 ounces of oil. So
it wasn't necessarily the oil; it was like the pressure amounts that you were talking about. Because the low pressure side was fine, but the high pressure side was really too high. So he let some of that pressure out, and yeah, now it works flawlessly.
Great. So it was just overcharged.
Yeah, something like that. So he let something out. He said he needed to be at like 300 or something on the high pressure side, and he had like 350 in it. So he just released the the 50 part of it and got it to 300, and yep, ice cold AC now, so it's nice.
Yeah, most compressors won't activate unless they are the proper. It's got to be between 30 and 35 on the low side. It's got to be between 250 and 300 on the high side. And if they don't match, the clutch will never engage. So that's why it would blow hot.
Awesome, and definitely gotta do the pay the bills routine, as others have said it.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for everybody in the comments that have stuck around and have been commenting and all that. We definitely made this show still last, while even with the shortened crew tonight. And again, another shout out to our new face out there, Ash Evans. I know again you had work, and may have a little bit of initial live jitters, but no worries. We got your song played and people loved your song, and definitely would love to have more of it. Bring some rock and metal over here, and we'll definitely play it. That's for sure.
Before you jump into paying the bills, though, a continuation of the thought that I was saying before was that I was going to originally bring this song to Father's Day, but after thinking about it and everything that he's taught me, I brought a completely different song that was more of this is how my dad has raised me and how I learned from him and everything. So it was kind of a forgiveness story, but it was more of a, yes, I understand what you did, but that doesn't forgive what you did. Anyway, pay the bills.
No worries. I almost lost it for a second here. I accidentally swiped on there, and I hate it when that shit happens. All right. So again, thank you for everybody for joining us in the comments and for the live streams as well. And, thank you for tuning in. If you happen to watch this later, I understand it's a Monday night. You probably got to go to sleep, get ready for work. And, maybe you might play some hooky at work and come watch Metal Monday. So, thank you for that too. It sucks that you got to play hooky at work and hopefully your boss don't find out and, have detrimental effects. But, definitely appreciate some Metal Monday participation. But Sundays, I'm going to start out first day of the week. So we have Mr. OGP Swain with his Global Sound Origins and whatnot at 12 p.m. And all times are going to be in Central Time. So 12 p.m. on Sunday for that. 6 p.m. Is our Kingdom Sound, where we're doing Prompt Wars this week. So basically, they assign us all the prompt, and we have to basically utilize that prompt to make music. So no other prompts, all that stuff. We can make it in the genre styles that we want to make it, but we basically got to make it ours. So it's going to be fun. Never had a prompt sent to me, and then I had to do something with it, except for the little collab I did with Clayton, and then I had to send him the prompt on how to do Stormdok voices and whatnot, and that was actually pretty fun. And then Mondays. This is not the only show on Mondays. So 7 p.m. we have Unfiltered and Apologetic with Kay and Yetta. I don't have their topic for next week yet, but today was definitely an interesting topic about how far would you go to catch a cheater. So there was definitely some fun stuff talked about that. And then, of course, 9 p.m. is our Metal Mondays hosted by yours truly. And next week is Open Metal. So, no topics for next week. So whatever rock or metal you have, feel free to bring it. It is another paid event. My free event's not till around August 10th is kind of when I'm planning the free event. It's not certain yet, but that's when I'm kind of planning. But yes, next week is Open Metal. So whatever rock or metal song you want, if you want to come on over here, come bring it. And Tuesday, we have a new show talking with Tanya and Beth. I know they've had a couple episodes now, and they talk some pretty serious topics. And it's basically like a podcast kind of deal where they talk about different issues about recovery and healing, and it's very nice to listen to. So feel free to give them a like and follow, and definitely give them a watch. And then at 9 p.m. we have Mayday with our very own May Morton, and her thing is for tomorrow is Nostalgia Night. So taking everyone on a trip down memory lane through the power of music while competing with artists from around the world. So it's going to be some fun stuff. Wednesday, we have a new show for Wildcard Wednesday. It's the Rex Vane domain. Rex Vane with the V. I know he definitely wants to emphasize it's a V. He says Rex Wayne sounds too cowboy. So it's Rex Vane domain. So basically fun stuff about relationships, fatherhood, finances, career, mental health, more. It's a very man-oriented show. If you ever seen the show Mansers, that's kind of what that show is going to be like. So some fun parody, like, stuff like that. He's not a licensed therapist, so don't take his advice literally. All right. You can do what you want with it. Swain Family Records and Rex Vane, not responsible, for some of the, he'll try to keep it, he'll try to keep it doable. He won't throw some crazy shit at you.
Are you sure it's not Rex Wayne, like,
No,
the cousin to Bruce Wayne?
No, it's definitely Rex Vane, not Rex Wayne. Because he was thinking he was getting confused with John Wayne, and he says John Wayne is a fucking legend, and he says, he feels honored to be called Rex Wayne, but his name is Rex Vane. But hey, rest in peace, John Wayne. You were a fucking legend. I definitely agree with Rex there. 9 p.m. The Noe Boys with Larry and Blacktop King. Two awesome guys, and wow, Wednesday seems to be the show for men out there. Got Rex Vane, and then got the Noe Boys right after. Very manly talks there, and very controversial talks as well. They are doing a tiebreaker showdown on Wednesday night between Mike Rogers and Blacktop King himself. So definitely tune in for that, because there's a nice little prize pot involved for the winner of that one. So tune in, make your votes, make sure you're registered. Only registered people can vote. FYI, got to put that out there. Can't just be anybody hopping in the group just to throw some votes there. You actually have to be registered, guys.
Yeah, him and battle between Mike and Jimmy. That's going to be legendary.
Oh, it's going to be legendary. I know Jimmy can definitely bring it. All right. I was going to say something and then I lost track, but I'll just leave it at the past there. No, it wasn't you. It's my own mind. I'm like this at the end of every streaming. So Thursday at 8 p.m., we have online mic drop poetry event hosted by Colin Evans or Colleen. I hope I'm saying this right. It's a stage for poets, spoken word artists, lyricists, storytellers, and creative writers from around the world. So if you're into stuff like poetry, feel free to tune into that one. It says streaming on YouTube and Twitch there. 9 p.m. we have Comedy Club Night hosted by Clayton Barnes and Renegade Butcher, and it is a free event. So if you're one of the new guys of Swain Family Records, feel free to tune in and sign up for it. I know spots go fast on that one. People have a great time on that show. And this theme for this week is retail or service industry. So if you work in fast food, if you work in retail, if you're a delivery driver, stuff like that, definitely some parody songs on that.
Or have worked in those.
Yeah. I had my time at Amazon and Walmart and McDonald's and Whataburger. Oddly enough, Whataburger, it's supposed to be like this, godly restaurant in Texas that we all love to, protect and defend against In-N-Out and all that. But Whataburger was, dear God, my worst job I've ever had. That manager sucked ass at Whataburger. So if you were my Whataburger manager in late 2004, I don't give a shit. You get the finger.
Well,
my McDonald's crew was cool as shit. And so shout out to my McDonald's crew at my Walmart McDonald's there in Converse, Texas. So this doesn't exist anymore. It's some like Charlie's sub place now, but shout out to my old crew there.
I've done Sonic and Domino's, and for retail, I've even gone and done vape shop stuff and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got stories I can tell about that.
All right, definitely some fun stuff in line for that one. Yeah, I'm definitely sorry you're going through all that, Clayton. My thoughts are with you. I hope everything gets better for you there.
I hope the dog is okay.
Yeah, no, I saw his little update post on it earlier, and he shared a picture of the dog at the vet's house and all that. Too. Yeah, thoughts are with you, Clayton. Hope everything gets better. Friday, 12 noon, is the Top 5 Global Sound Countdown, hosted by Chris G. And Chrissy G is another awesome dude out there fighting the big fight against the big C. So stay strong there, Chrissy G. We are all thinking about you. And we absolutely love your shows. I was finally able to tune in and, hearing all the great songs out there. And, and our thoughts are definitely with you too. I wish I could send a hug over the internet, but the best I could do, nice little digital hug. So that I have to do.
I want to throw something in if that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I don't know if it's approved yet, but I think that Moses and Novastar are talking about doing a Chaotic Thursdays at 5 p.m. CST. It is a kid-friendly live stream show.
Oh yes, I did get approached about that earlier, asking if I wanted to, co-host
Co-host,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know about that one. There are probably people way better qualified than I am for something like that.
Well, they approached Becky, but Becky is going back to work on the 3rd, and then she does bowling on Thursdays with her high school kids, so she can't do it. But we directed them over towards Clayton, since he's also a retired teacher, and so maybe Clayton will be able to step in for that.
Alrighty, sometimes getting your mind busy on other things, might be able to help when you're really going through it too.
Yeah,
but definitely don't go
like
through too much though, because burnout is definitely real. Don't overwork yourself. I'm talking to you, Larry. Don't overwork yourself.
You hear that, Porch? She's talking to you.
He knows. I'm always telling Larry, about it. So he knows it's all love there. 8 p.m. new member community spotlight. So if you're a new guy, go and join that. I've been approached. Well, I've already done one, and I'm like, sign up for another one then, and until some newer guy shows up, to take the spot, get your stuff out there. So if you're a new face and you want to join in the new member spotlight, sign up. What's the worst that people can say? That, oh, there's another new guy that hasn't shown up yet and he's taking the spot. I mean, come on. I mean, we try.
Just remember the worst thing that she can the worst thing that she can say is not no. She can say much worse things. So
I don't run new member spotlight though. That's between
no. I mean, if you've heard the phrase, the worst thing she can say is no. When a guy approaches a female about going on a date, that's not the worst thing she can say.
So, but see, I've also said on Midnight Confessions though this past weekend that that the worst thing you can possibly do is not take that chance.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't remember the exact phrase right now off the top of my head, but it was something along the lines of you miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take.
Exactly. Get the little, things, mind explosion rainbow kind of deal going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a new guy, sign up for new member spotlight. Whether you've done it already at least once, sign up again. And if a new guy that recently joined, that's newer than you signs up, then it is what it is. But we really have a hard time telling people no. We're pretty chill. We're a pretty chill group. So if you want to come join Swain Family Records Music Competitive Arena, come join, answer those 3 questions, do a little registration process, and start signing up for our free events. Give it a try. So,
she's the one who had 15 guests in one night.
Right, and I could have said no to some people. I could have said, our 8 spots are taken up already, so nope, you gotta wait till next free event. I could have said that, but no. I got with Moses that night, and I'm like, hey, we have a lot of people signed up. Let's just do it with it all.
Get them all knocked out.
Like we can have 10 people on live, and then we have 5 people backstage, and I can just rotate people through. And guess what I did? I rotated people around. I let everybody have their piece. I explained how it was going to work beforehand, and it worked out, I think, pretty flawless. 3
hours and 45 minutes later, yeah, I'd say so.
Woo! Oh man.
Speaking of the same thing, if we didn't have the time constraint that we did on Saturday, man, I'll tell you what, we had 14 people who wanted on that show that night.
Oh man.
So we had to push a bunch of them to this week. So, we got some new people coming this next week, but we're already all full up.
Right, and I haven't even got to Saturday shows yet. I still got one more show for Friday.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a minute.
Friday at 9 p.m. is Give It a Vision Challenge Battle of the World hosted by Day Day. It's another free event. Your opponent isn't another artist, it's the obstacle you've overcome. Any genre is welcome as long as your song tells your story. So I'll let you take it at that one. It sounds like a another fun challenge kind of event there.
Sounds kind of like what Kingdom Sound's doing, except with this is your prompt. Tell us about what you've overcome in
All
your
right.
genre.
And Saturday, since you're here, I'll let you say the 7 p.m. fantasy fiction night event for Saturday.
So Moses made a misprint on this flyer, this week's flyer. It is not fantasy fiction night. It is fantasy fiction live. I am not going to be doing that video intro a second time.
I like how he said night, with the K at the beginning, so it kind of fits the theme.
Well, I mean, he this week he laid down the law and said, "I am now the co-host." So last week I was just the back end person. This week I'm actually a co-host.
If only had the law. If only I had like the CSI, theme song or whatever. The
Yeah. But anyway, it is an open genre. It is anything fantasy, fiction, any fantasy, any fiction, science fiction. It could be about D&D. It can be about anime. It can be about a book you read years ago. It could be about a video game you played 20 years ago or 5 years ago or last week. Doesn't really matter. It just has to be within that fantasy or fiction. It cannot be something real life or anything like that, or bibliographies or things like that. It's got to be a fantasy or fiction. And quite honestly, I think romance even follows into that because it's fiction. So if you want to bring a song, and I'm sorry, but we are full up, but if you want to bring a song for the following week, we are on every week at 7 p.m. Texas time. And we can only take 8 at a time for the very simple fact that immediately following us, which is my wife, Rebecca, and I, after us comes Miss Stormdok. Comes Dante and Dirty Diana.
Yeah,
right?
10 p.m. Central Time, Midnight Confessions hosted by Dirty Diana and Dante. And it is free to submit confessions to them. So if you got some dirty detail confessions, some spicy, office stuff or some spicy at-home stuff or anything spicy in general, it's all anonymous confessions, real stories, raw emotions, unexpected twists. No names, no judgment, just real stories from real people streaming on YouTube and Twitch. And wow, they talk about some crazy shit on that show.
Can I throw something in as well?
Yeah, sure.
If you want to submit a song to go along with the stories, reach out to the host, Dirty Diana or Dante, and they can get, just put on the post, I'd like to put a song to one of your stories, and they will get with you, and you can create a song and submit the song to the show.
And I know one story that particularly stuck with me was some office toy play, where somebody was wearing a device. I can't remember what it was called, but it was app controlled. And needless to say, the other employees at the office got wind of this, downloaded the app, and was like screwing with this employee while she was wearing this device. And they made a game of it by saying, when they showed up to work, okay, who's wearing, and then they got to do like office meetings and all that shit, without, oh my gosh, like having an orgasm or something like that from this thing.
Yeah.
And I was making some comments that kept getting censored by YouTube and whatnot. And Dirty Diana and Dante are both, was that you, Stormdok? Was that your story? I'm like, no, it wasn't me. I don't work.
It definitely wasn't me or Rebecca, because that would absolutely not be something that either of us would even attempt. I mean, we might be a little spicy, but we are not stupid.
You can ask Diana or Dante too. Like when their show starts up, I'll kind of mess with them and be like, okay, which one of y'all's wearing today? I don't know why that story stuck with me, but it did. So yes, you hear
It's
some
an
crazy
interesting
shit on
story.
Midnight Confessions. That is essentially Swain Family Records after dark. So tune in at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time and
18
hear
plus
some
only,
crazy shit.
please.
What's up?
18 plus only, please.
Oh yes, definitely not kid friendly and not Mayday friendly either.
If you're gonna watch, make sure the kids aren't around.
Oh yes, definitely some spicy pineapple material going on there for sure. And for those of you that don't know, pineapples are safe words when it involves anything spicy. So if you hear us doing the pineapple or throwing the pineapple emojis, that means some spicy shit's going on.
Yeah, the spicy ship's about to go down.
Yeah, either or, you know.
Or we're trying to prevent spicy stuff from going down.
It's happened. Swain found the records. You never know what you're gonna get.
It's a mixed bag, definitely.
Sunday at 12 noon, we have our big band OGP Swain. I think I already said this with his Global Sound Origins. Okay, I went in order of day of the week, so this was at the bottom of it because I know he puts this out on Sundays. So sometimes it can be like right after his show, right before Kingdom Sound, or vice versa, something like that.
Yeah,
So yes, definitely tune in for that.
started with Kingdom Sound and went from there. So this will be the last one.
Okay, so definitely tune in. If you're interested in that, Global Sound Origins at 12 noon Central Standard Time. He said is exclusively on YouTube. So it basically sounds like an origin story to Swain Family Records, from what it sounds like. So definitely tune in for that one.
I think that's the book he's writing.
Hey, some people can put their stories into a book. Nothing wrong with that. It's like a little biography, of sorts.
Yeah, Larry's putting out one called Two Wolves, and hopefully soon we'll be getting to get the first installment of that on Fantasy Fiction Live.
Hey, you never know. We can either put it on a song form or maybe start a book night. Who knows?
Book night would be fun. I've read
because
a
we already
lot
have
of books
poetry
in my life.
night. So maybe somebody can start up a book night. And knowing
We're
my
taking
ass, I'll bring something
volunteers.
messed up. Like I'll bring like Watership Down or some crazy shit.
Yeah, somebody wanted me to make a funny song about Watership Down. I'm like, how do you make a funny song about rabbit murder?
I'm actually trying to grab one of my books that I keep right by my computer desk because I'll read this in between songs. But this Jilly Cooper, she's one of the English authors, and she is a very spicy English author. And this is actually the second of a series of books called the Rutshire Chronicles. And there is a Hulu show called Rivals. It's freaking amazing, by the way. It's a show based in England, and it's based in the 80s. They were
1980s or 1880s?
1980s. So,
Okay.
like they started out in 1986. They're currently in 1987 right now. And it's a show about two competing TV stations, battling for the title. But there is lots of affairs going on, lots of spicy stuff. Definitely a very pineapple type story. That's how Dame Jilly Cooper was. And rest in peace, Dame Jilly Cooper. I know she passed away this year. But it's got David Tennant in it.
There you go.
So if you're a David Tennant fan, oh man, he's a bad boy in this one. And some of us Tennant fans, we love it when Tennant plays a bad boy. So
there was another show that he was on that he was a bad boy.
It was Jessica Jones.
Yep.
Jessica Jones, he played Kilgrave. And if you've seen his older show, Secret Smile, which is available on Amazon Prime, it's a 3-part miniseries, and that's basically Kilgrave without powers. And he did that before he became the Doctor.
Nice. I'll have to search that one up.
Yep, look up Secret Smile. It is crazy. Oh my goodness.
But one thing I forgot to mention about Saturdays, if I can throw this in real quick. Basically, Saturdays we do the songs, but if you do come, please come prepared to do a Q&A, because Rebecca loves doing the Q&A. She will ask you a question before your song, and sometimes she'll prepare you, sometimes she won't. So she's got a lot of good questions for this next week.
Oh, she does. But I'm such a nerd. I don't think she can really unprepare me with anything. So that's the challenge, Rebecca. Whenever you see this in the future,
I got a good question for you.
What's up?
Star Wars or Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
Now, let me ask you a question, the follow-up question to that one. Which one am I talking about? Orphan Boy, gets raised by his cruel uncle, ends up discovering when he's a teenager that he has these awesome powers, and then he gets taught by a wizened wizard.
Well, technically, Anakin never got his powers as a teenager. He was a little kid.
Luke did.
You broke up there.
Luke did.
Oh, Luke.
Luke
Okay.
got his powers, and he was an orphan.
I didn't read that deep into it, so
Yeah, it's technically they're both. You can go either way with both of them because they were both basically raised by their uncles. They were both found out that they had magical powers when they were in their teens.
I didn't really see Lars as cruel though.
They were constantly making Luke do all the manual labor around.
He was better than Vernon Dursley.
Oh, absolutely, very much better than Vernon.
I mean, Lars is on a farm in Tatooine, so I mean, you got to put in some work. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, yeah. So I didn't really see Lars as cruel. So I mean,
Yeah. Well, like I said, technically you could go either way, but the wise and wizard being Obi-Wan and Dumbledore.
whew.
It's just kind
we'll
of
see
fun.
we'll see how the new Harry Potter series goes right there. You know, I'm not too thrilled about some of the castings on there, but I'm willing to give actors a shot. You know, it's like when people shit on Morbius, and I gave it a shot anyway, especially because Matt Smith was in it too. And I'm actually glad I watched Morbius now because I actually liked Morbius because Matt Smith was in it. So
The funny part is that oh no, you see, this is where I have my problem. It's not that I don't remember because it's late or anything. My ADHD brain goes one direction and the thought goes the other, and I just lose it completely. So we'll just go on from here because I don't remember my question.
alrighty, well, we're pretty much just closing things out anyway, and then we got, you know, some nerd talk going. Nothing wrong with that. Can definitely talk some more nerd stuff on Fantasy Fiction Night and whatnot.
Which
Because
should be fun.
it's going to be fun. I'm thinking about bringing something, maybe some Damon Targaryen-ish, because I love writing songs about Matt Smith. So why not?
I think I might actually do something on Tyrone Lannister.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Definitely
Very
nice.
hot.
I can see where this theme is going for Friday for sure, or for Saturday that is.
Yeah, I Tyrion's my favorite.
Tyrion's
Because-
freaking great, you know, and
Yeah.
he's one of the few favorite characters that actually survived all 8 seasons. So if you're a
I know.
Tyrion fan early on, spoiler alert, he does survive all 8 seasons.
I drink and I know things.
Hey. But him bitch slapping Joffrey all this time, so
Oh God, that was so much fun to watch.
yes. And there's a compilation on YouTube somebody did where it's just like a couple of hours of nothing but him slapping Joffrey in all of those scenes. That was fucking great.
So Ford has posed a question. Do you know why he survived all 8 seasons?
I was gonna say I didn't see that question anywhere.
That's because I'm at Forge's apartment and he asked it verbally.
Because he drinks and he knows things.
Because he drinks and he knows things.
It probably helped that he was kind of besties with Lord Varys too. You know, Master of Whisperers and whatnot.
He's laughing.
Because he drinks and he knows things. Sometimes that's all you need. And I still remember him talking about, you know, the gods in that universe all being, you know, twats. And he's like, where's the god of tits and wine? Now that's a god I can easily worship, you know, something along the lines of that.
I really like the scene that he had with the young boy that they send to get laid at the prostitution house, and he comes back and hands
Podrick,
back the money.
yes. What did Podrick do to those ladies? You know, that's been the long-standing mystery.
Sit down. You've got to tell us everything.
Right, I never seen Bronn and Tyrion look so dumbfounded, especially Bronn, because usually he's the hard, you know, sellsword, that doesn't give a shit about anything except making his gold. And when he needed to know what Podrick did to those girls.
You're right.
And the rumor has it that all he did was like sit and like listen to their problems. And it just made me think of that other scene from South Park with Butters and his kissing club. And he was like, bitches be talking about their motherfucking problems, stuff like that.
Well, I think we can end it here. I think we've lost
we're
audience.
rambling off. I'm pretty sure our audience done all cut off. They're like, they're not even talking about metal anymore. They're nerding out on us. So let's all cut out here. So we are total nerds. So thank you guys for showing up in the comments there. Huge kudos to those that actually stuck with us, especially through all the nerd talk. And thank you to our artists who submitted songs tonight. Ash, I know you couldn't make it, but we definitely enjoyed your song and hope to see more of you. Jim B, I know he cut out earlier. Thanks for joining as well. Butcher, I know he works on Mondays as well. Larry out there, who says he's working now, so good job. I guess the interview went well, so congrats. And Clayton out there,
on JLRP stuff. He's got
that kind of work. Okay, well, still
he does have a couple offers though. So,
okay, good job. Congrats on that one. And Clayton, I hope everything goes well with you. Thanks for hanging out with us in the comments as well. Hope I didn't miss anybody. I know D-Day also showed up earlier as well. Shout out to you as well. Everybody that comes over, May as well, earlier in the comments. I love the folks that support Metal Mondays. Come on over and support my show. Just like I will support you in anything you do, especially the Rock Goddess Top 25 polls, where Swain Family Records is definitely taking it over. If you come to support Metal Mondays, I will support you wholeheartedly. I support my fellow rockers and metalheads out there. Come on over. It's one of those things. I'm not going to support you if you don't really contribute much to anything. I mean, if you don't come over here and show me some love every so often, if you don't come to Metal Mondays, why am I going to support you on a metal show? Simple as that. Why am I going to support you on a rock show if you don't even show up to these things? It is what it is. And Yolanda, huge shout out because I heard you were the referral on that one. So shout out to Soldier Lady out there for the referral. So
you forgot James Zeisler.
Yes, James Z. I didn't see him.
Yeah, he was here at the very beginning. He was at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, he did. His comment got like mixed up in here, but yeah, shout out to James Z. And James Z sings his own music too. He told us Siren Kingdom Sound, so that's really cool. You always gotta love it when you put some actual voice into it as well. Not too many of us really do it. I know we all provide like our vocal inputs and all that, and have our personas, actually dish it out. But it's really cool when a person puts their actual voice into it. So
I can sing. There are certain long notes and certain high notes I can't hit anymore because of my age. But at the same time, I can't get those barks anymore because I smoked for too long.
Yeah, life happens. Sometimes it shits on you. Sometimes it blesses you. It just depends on, what that random chance dishes out to you. And you can't always control the results either.
Definitely gave me a deeper voice, but yeah, I just can't hit those barks anymore. Like,
like Alex Terrible can do those barks like you did in Viking. Oh man.
Oh, forget that. Like David Drummond can hit in his songs.
Oh, like he did in Down with the Sickness and all that, like that. Oh,
I used to be able to do that.
I can do it when I properly prepare for it. Like my voice box isn't well lubricated right now, and when you do metal growls and shit like that, you have to be really well lubricated for that.
Yeah, I'm always well lubricated being diabetic. I drink so much.
You would think with me being on the carnivore diet, I should be drinking water all day, every day. But, I have been stress eating a little bit lately, so I've been kind of ignoring my carnivore diet. But we'll go ahead and close things out. Thank all the viewers. Thank all the artists who submitted tonight. Thanks Omega for joining me tonight, so I didn't have to be by myself. And Yeah, shout out to Mr. OGP Swain. You know, we wouldn't be here without Swain Family Records and all that. And I know he does a lot of hard work promoting in the background. He's obviously way better at it than I am. I've tried promoting Metal Mondays in other groups, and I just can't get people for some reason. I guess people just flock to him and they don't flock to me. I don't know. Maybe I need to change my face or something. I don't know.
You
know,
need to get good co-hosts is what you need.
Hey,
Get Metal May to start coming on with you.
oh, you hear that, May? I know if you're out there watching this show, got another call out there, and maybe you can co-host Metal Mondays with me. I'll totally take you. I
think that would be a really good combination. You and May both doing metal. That would be something I would watch on a weekly basis.
We got to do another version of that Sparkle and make it more darker than those. If we brought her on Metal Mondays. Spark. Yes, because I know thunderclaps are essentially a stronger spark. You know,
or like an arc welder spark.
Ooh, yes, there we go. But we'll go on and close things out. If you're going through it out there, and don't forget, with Swain Family Records, you know, if you're not moving how we moving, get out the way. This is the Swain Family Records Network Metal Monday, where we like to stay metal, rocking out on Monday nights. So stay happy, stay healthy, stay metal, and if you're going through it, please do not neglect your outlets. And
thank you. I was going to say that.
That's what I like to close out with. Please do not neglect your outlets. Whether it's a friend, family member, or the crisis hotline, which in America it's 988. And if you can't remember that, I wrote a song called 988. So look it up on my newest album, Chaos with Intent. And if that even saves one life, it's worth it. So with that, please do not neglect your outlets. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay metal, guys.
Stay metal.
They told you to wait your turn. Told you you weren't big enough. Told you to keep posting and hope somebody notices. But what if you didn't have to wait anymore? Welcome to Swain Family Records. This is not just a platform. This is a movement. A movement where independent artists finally have a voice. Not just through their music, but through their story. Here, artists don't just press play. They get interviewed first. They speak. They introduce themselves. They share their journey before their music is even heard. So when the song drops, the fans don't just hear it. They feel it. They connect with the artist behind the sound. This is deeper than streams. This is real connection. Live music battles, live interviews, real exposure, real relationships, and now, real money. Starting Saturdays, fans and supporters can connect directly with artists live, purchase their music, buy their merch, and support them directly. No middleman, no gatekeepers, no waiting, just artist to fan, direct, authentic, powerful. This is where fans don't just listen, they engage. They support, they decide. Whether you're an artist, a fan, or a supporter, there is a place for you here. Join the movement at our main hub on Facebook, Swain Family Records Music Competitive Arena. And if you're not a member yet, you can still watch us live on Twitch at OGPSWayne99 or on YouTube at Swain Family Records. This is bigger than music. This is a culture shift. Swain Family Records, the UFC of music. Join the movement or get left behind.